that you saw on the sunglasses?
Objection calls for speculation.
Response,
I can rephrase my question.
please.
Did you recognize the R from the sunglasses?
Yes, I did.
16L, what are we looking at here?
More disposable masks.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to 16I. It's a little hard to see with our glare here, but hoping we can do it. And I'm going to go actually up to the screen. What is this right here, kind of above the disposable mask?
It's a camouflage bandana.
Okay. When you were going through the backpack after you photographed it, kind of the way you found it, did you actually take that bandana out of the backpack and take a better look at it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So now we're looking at 16M. Is that bandana kind of spread out?
Yes,
on
it
the
is.
paper? Okay. What did you see on, or did you see anything on this bandana that caught your attention?
Yes, I did.
What did you see?
A reddish stain.
So 16N. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yes.
Okay. Did you swab that stain?
Yes, I did.
And is that what we're looking at in 16O?
Yes, that is actually a presumptive test for blood called
Okay. Well,
phenolphthalein.
but without going into that, is this a different kind of swab than the swab that you have for the DNA?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the DNA. Judge, I believe without objection, the state's going to move into evidence states Exhibit 18.
No objection.
Exhibit 18 admitted without objection.
So, did you go that process that you described to us with the sunglasses and the bike and the phone and the headphones? Did you follow that same process for this particular item?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And permission to publish states 18?
Yes.
So is that what we're looking at here?
Yes.
And did you also, after photographing that bandana, did you collect it and package it separately?
Yes, I did.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence, I believe, without objection, State's Exhibit 19, which is the camo bandana.
Exhibit 19 admitted without objection.
And just continuing through 16. What are we looking at here in 16, upside down, albeit, in 16P?
That is a black fanny pack.
Okay, and that's what we're looking at here in 16Q as well?
Yes.
Were you also provided other items from law enforcement to package and preserve from detectives?
Yes.
Specifically, were you asked to package and preserve a DNA sample? Well, not package, but preserve it in these kind of envelopes.
What? I missed what you said.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Sorry.
I'm going to come up there and have you look at it. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 20.
Oh, yes.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what is it?
It is a DNA standard.
Okay. And is that something that you were provided by detectives to package so it could be sent where it needed to go?
Yes.
And is it in the same or substantially same condition as it was when you collected it?
Yes, it is.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit 20.
No objection.
Exhibit 20 admitted without objection.
And then were you also provided a cell phone to do the same thing?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence, I believe, without objection, State's Exhibit 21.
Exhibit 21 admitted without objection.
After Semmie Williams was arrested, were you provided with items that were taken from him to photograph?
Yes, I was.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit 4A through E, I believe.
Do you say 4A through B?
4A through E.
E.
Yes, subject to previous objection.
Exhibit 4A through E admitted over objections.
I'm actually going to go a little bit out of the lettering order, but we're going to look at all of them. And I want to start with 4C. Are these items that you were provided to photograph?
Yes.
Okay. Specifically this. It's like a wallet?
Yes, it's a wallet.
Okay. And the papers that we can see kind of sitting on top of the wallet, is that how they were found, or were they actually tucked into the wallet?
They were tucked into the wallet.
Okay, so they were taken out to be photographed?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Let's look at 4B. Is this a closer picture of that folded piece of paper that was in that wallet?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then 4A, said we were going out of order, I meant it. Did you actually open that entire paper up and take a photograph?
Yes, I did.
And that's what we're looking at here?
Yes.
Okay, and then just looking at some of the other items. 4D. What are we looking at here?
It's a tri-rail card.
Okay. And 4E, just a identification card.
Yes.
Judge, can I have a moment?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Yes, you may. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our afternoon break. 15 minutes, okay? All right, so we'll take a 15-minute break. We'll come get you around 1:05, 1:10. All right, enjoy your break. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending, or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. Enjoy your break. The jurors have left. We'll reconvene at 1:05. Is anything else? I'm sorry? 2:05. I'm sorry. 2:05. I think I said 1:05 to them, but it's 2:05. Sorry.
I'm not a tech person, so I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, it should work. And it zooms like an iPad.
Okay.
On the screen, if
Oh.
you want to zoom in.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
I took a sip when I was on. Thank you. It's my throat itches from my allergies from the weather. I don't know how you. I mean, the building, they keep it nice and clean. My gosh, but I can see the water's coming in through the windows. Mhm. That's what it's getting me. My throat itches. It itches. So I'm trying to clear it to scratch it. Thank you.
Got it? Thank you so much. No, that's not what I asked.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'm gonna take the computer out and show it to him outside, right? But that's what's on me.
Come to order, court's back in session, Honorable Semmie Williams presiding.
Please be seated. Hope you enjoyed your break. Are we ready to go to the jury?
I made two misidentifications for exhibits, so I just want to make sure the record is clear. Exhibit 12 is composite A through E.
Okay.
And exhibit 10 is composite A through D.
Okay.
Once I realized the mistake, I didn't identify them in front of the jury, so it's a non-issue for the record. I just wanted to make sure for Madam Clerk.
Okay.
D is in dog.
With that, are we ready to bring in the jury? Defense? Mr. Williams, are you ready for us to bring in the jury?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Let's bring in the jury.
Jury panel's in the courtroom.
You can bring that. You can bring it. So, just put a lid on it. Okay. You can bring the drink if you want. Just put a lid on it. Please be seated. Ms. Gashery, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, now on direct examination, I know you went through your present role at the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, right?
Yes.
Okay, you were the lead crime scene investigator in this case.
Yes, I was.
And along with some of the other things that you told the jury is that there are other crime scene investigators that can help assist you with documenting, collecting, and processing.
Yes.
And your role as a crime scene investigator is to document, which is by way of photographs, right?
Yes.
As well as collect, like putting things in bags of evidence, as the jury saw,
Yeah. Yes.
as well as processing, which you detailed out with taking a Q-tip rather and processing indiscriminately an object.
Yes, I explained the process that I do.
Okay. And that is part of your role in the role that you had in this case.
Yes.
Okay. Now you are called out to a scene, and when you arrive, you kind of make your own observations as well as take photographs.
Yes.
And one of the things when you arrived on Central Boulevard on November 16th of 2021, you made observations of the grassy area, right?
Yes.
As well as the sidewalk.
Yes.
Sorry, if I stop talking, I may not say right after.
I don't know if it's a question or not.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
no, when I stop talking, that's
Okay.
true. Okay. So after you make those observations, you also will sometimes observe weather conditions.
Yes.
And on that date, there was no notation of any rain, right?
No.
As well as when you were in the grassy area, it didn't appear that the grass was still kind of wet like it had rained the night prior.
Correct.
Okay. And when we're talking about this area, I know we have seen photographs during the daytime of what this area looks like, but at nighttime, it is completely dark, right?
Yes, I wasn't out there at night though.
Okay. You also made observations during the daytime whether there's actually street lights along where you were documenting and processing and collecting evidence, right?
There was no street lights.
Okay. And and I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 5B that you. All right. So what we're looking at in this photograph is, would this be looking west?
No, that's looking south.
Okay, so we're kind of standing, looking south, and we see the bicycle further down this way, right?
Yes.
Unrelated to the investigation.
Correct.
Okay. And what you can kind of see here is kind of like a slant as from the elevation of the road that the grassy area kind of goes down into this wooded area.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's also seen in State's Exhibit 5E, like Echo, but from from a distance, and since the other way was south, this would be north, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you went through some of the items that you actually did collect and some of the photographs, but some other items that we did not have an opportunity to discuss were a black knit cap, correct?
Yes.
And at this time, I believe without objection, defense would move to admit Defense Exhibit 1 photo of knit cap.
Any objection?
No objection.
Defense Exhibit 1 admitted without objection?
Permission to publish?
Yes.
I'm just kind of confirming because I didn't walk up there, but this is the black knit cap that you also collected.
It was given to me. Yes.
Package placed in evidence by you.
No, it was given to me. I photographed it and processed it.
And processing, again, is when you take that Q-tip, process indiscriminately for any DNA, because that's not
The
something you can
photographs, detailed photographs, and
and DNA is not something you can see with your naked eye, so you're making sure that you're going through every area, right?
trying to, yes.
Another item that you collected that we didn't have an opportunity to discuss were some black sneakers.
Yes.
Okay. And this would be Defense Exhibit 2A and Composite 2A and B. I believe this without objection.
Defense Exhibit 2A and B, you said, Ms. Gassery?
Yes.
2A and B admitted without objection?
Permission to publish.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, first is going to be Defense 2B. And those are the sneakers that you processed.
Yes.
And then into, I believe, is also just a more zoomed out photograph of what you processed, what the sneakers that you processed.
Yes.
Items belonging to Mr. Williams.
Yes.
And another item that you processed and photographed was black gloves.
Yes.
Okay. And this would be Defense Exhibit 3 without objection, I believe.
Any objection? Exhibit 3 admitted without objection?
And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is the glove that you also obtained from the backpack of Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Other items that were collected included like an athletic sweater,
Yes.
cargo shorts,
Yes.
jeans,
Yes.
a gray, singular gray sock, and then
Yes.
a pair of gray socks,
Yes. That was at a separate time, though.
and then a gray tee.
A gray T-shirt. Yes, that was a separate time as well.
Okay, but those are also items that you collected
Yes.
and processed.
Yes.
Now, as we're discussing, part of your role is taking photographs and documenting evidence and sometimes not knowing whether it's relevant to the case or not. Sometimes you take photographs of an individual that is arrested, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you took pictures of Mr. Williams in this case.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you didn't document any scratches on his hands.
I took photos of him, but I did not see any injuries.
Okay, so no injuries to include no scratches on his arms,
Correct.
no scratches on his hands,
Correct.
no cuts on his hands,
No.
no cuts on his face or neck area.
No.
If I could have one moment, Judge.
Yes. Redirect?
When did you take the photographs of Semmie Williams?
December 1st.
Okay. So roughly, my math is bad on which month has which, 2 weeks
Yes.
after this incident?
Yes.
Okay. And the processing that we talked about and that you talked about with the defense, did you do different days of processing?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so like the day that you processed the bike, was that the same day that you processed Mr. Williams' items?
No.
Okay, same thing with like the day you processed the headphones. Was that the same day as you processed the items from the backpack?
No, it was not.
And we talked a little bit about when you were at the scene, how you make sure you're not, cross-contaminating. What do you do when you're processing items to make sure you're not, touching one item and then touching another and keeping everything separate?
We change gloves all the time, and then we change the brown paper that the items are placed on.
Okay, so it's not like one piece of brown paper and we just keep putting the items on.
It is not.
Can I just have a moment?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Witness free to go?
Yes.
Defense? Yes. Ma'am, you're free to step down and leave. Thank you. Next witness?
Yes, that was the state we call Matthew Lindell.
Sir, once you're comfortably seated, pull the mic close to you. It moves from the base. Say your first and last name and spell both names, please.
Matthew Lindahl, MatthyLindal.
Do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. You've already introduced yourself. Would you mind just telling the members of this jury and the court what do you do for a living?
I'm a realtor with the Kai's Company
Okay. And where do you live currently? What neighborhood?
in Jupiter now.
Okay. I'm going to transport you back to November 16th of 2021. Do you remember what neighborhood you were living in at that point in time?
In the Alton neighborhood in Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay. So we're just going to talk about how you got involved in this case. In the early morning hours of November 16th, 2021, were you able to see some type of Facebook post in relation to Ryan Rogers being missing?
I received the post from a neighbor, I believe around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And when you saw that post, did you yourself decide to do anything that morning in relation to it?
Yeah, I was about to head out for a normal workout, and I told my neighbor that I could be of help in the search, so I'd take my bike and go ride around and see if I could help him out.
Okay. How long had you been living in the Alton neighborhood at that point?
We moved there in 2017.
Okay. So you'd been there approximately maybe 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you still familiar today with kind of, if there was a Google map showing kind of your neighborhood and the places where you tried to go look, would you recognize it if I showed it to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Judge, I don't believe there's an objection to State's Composite Exhibit 22A through C.
Exhibit 22A through C, admitted without objection.
Yes. And then permission if Mr. Lindahl can step down, just get closer to the television, Judge.
Certainly. You can step down, sir. Do you need a pointer?
Yes.
And a mic. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yep.
Madam Court Reporter.
All right. So do you recognize this map, Mr. Lindahl?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you can give the general area kind of where your home is on this map, or is it north, south, east, or west?
It's just up north of Hood Road up here.
Okay. And so you decide that, hey, you're going to go look to see if you could help out. Do you remember kind of the general route you took when you went out looking that day?
Yeah. Let's see. So Hood Road Military Central is right here. Oh, actually, yeah, my neighborhood's right here. So I would have came out right here on Hood Road, went to Central, and then I would have rode all this way on the west side of Central, all the way down to PJ Boulevard, at which point I came down to this road, which is Shady Lakes Drive or Boulevard, that goes up past the Gardens Park. Once here, I took a bike trail around the backside of the park that comes out right about here on Central. And then it was at this point that I started going up the east side of Central Boulevard. And at that point, before I got to this overpass where 95 is, this is where I spotted Ryan's bike right there.
Just for the record, he was describing 22A, State's Exhibit. So let's just take a look at 22B. Do you recognize this, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So this is kind of a zoomed in version with Central Boulevard and 995 kind of being closer to the top.
Yes.
Okay. And could you indicate on 22B, as best as you can, where you believe that you spotted Ryan's bike, the general area?
So if I came out here, it would have been somewhere right about where this writing is, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the hill going up that leads to the overpass over the highway.
Got it. Now I'm going to show you 22C. Do you recognize this image?
Yeah, this is where it would have been the location. Somewhere in here, there was some walkers coming at me with a dog here, so I went off the side in the grass, and that's when I was able to spot the metal in the underbrush over here.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You can take your seat back. Now, approximately how long had you been out riding your bike, kind of just looking for anything you could find?
At that point, it was probably just about over an hour.
Okay. And then you said there came a point in time. Do you remember approximately what time that you had seen the bike kind of over in that wooded area?
Yeah, it was, if I left at 8:30, it was probably just 9:30 or thereabouts.
Okay. So you see this bicycle. What's the next thing you do once you spot the bicycle?
I immediately called the police station and said I had found what I thought was Ryan's bike, and that just talking with them to send somebody out, and they informed me that they'd have somebody coming out right away.
Okay. Now, did you see Ryan's body at that point in time?
I did. I had not seen it at that time. Whoever I was speaking to at the police station, asked me, "Can you get closer? Do you see anything around it?" And then I took a couple steps closer, and that's when I saw right there.
Okay. So you were on the phone with law enforcement as you saw that?
Yeah.
Okay. Once you saw it, did you step back, I guess, further away, or did you stay where you were?
Yeah, I observed, how he was laying, and I could tell he wasn't, in pain or struggling or anything. So, and I knew somebody was on the way, so I didn't think there was anything I could do for him at that time.
Okay. And did you stay there until law enforcement personnel arrived where you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
While you were there, did anybody else, aside from you, try to tamper with that scene, go closer, touch anything from what you saw?
No, not that I saw. Some of the ladies I'd passed who were walking, I think they came back, and we all just kind of stayed on that sidewalk area while the police ended up doing what they had to do for the scene.
Got it. And when police arrived, did you speak with them and just tell them basically what we've heard just now?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Just one moment, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions. Just please answer any questions defense may have, okay?
Cross?
So when we're talking about the Central Boulevard in Palm Beach Gardens, it's kind of a thoroughfare through the middle of Palm Beach Gardens. Fair to say?
Yeah.
Goes from about PGA up to Jupiter, I think, right?
Yep.
It's 2 lanes north and 2 lanes south, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I would say.
At least in the area that we're
Oh, yeah,
talking
for sure.
about here,
Mhm.
as it relates to this case.
Yeah.
And it's a fairly well-trafficked area in terms of cars, right?
Yes.
And there's a sidewalk along the side, which is popular, or at least back in 2021, for folks like you riding your bike, exercisers,
Oh, still is, yeah.
people walking their dogs, jogging, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that walk that area
Absolutely.
and drive that area as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Nothing further.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Is the witness free to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense? Sir, you're free to go. Thank you. Next witness?
Stephen McClintock.
Yep.
Sir, once you're comfortably seated, pull the mic close to you. It moves from the base. Say your first and last name and spell both names, please.
Stephen McClintock, Steven McClintock.
Thank you. Do you wish to inquire?
I do, thank you.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
You've already introduced yourself. Where do you work?
Publix.
And what do you do for Publix?
I'm a customer service manager.
Okay, I'm going to have you pull the microphone a little
Oh,
closer
sorry.
because you're soft spoken.
I'm a
Actually, I
cus-
think I want you to speak up a little bit.
Speak up.
Please.
Okay. I'm a customer service manager.
Okay. And did you work for Publix back in November of 2021?
Yes.
Okay. What location were you working at in November of 2021?
Palm Beach Gardens, the Alton store.
Alton?
Yeah.
Okay. At that store, did law enforcement come to your store and ask you about surveillance video?
Yes.
Okay. Why would they come talk to you specifically?
Because I'm one of the managers that can provide them with that.
Okay. So how does Publix have surveillance cameras?
Yes.
Okay. Is it all around the store or just in certain areas?
Depends on the store.
Alton.
It's all around the store.
Okay. Were you able to let law enforcement look at the surveillance from that Alton store for the dates that they were looking for?
Yes.
And were you able to determine that the surveillance system was working at the time?
Yes.
Okay. And did they view the surveillance?
Yes.
After they viewed the surveillance, did they ask you to actually extract the surveillance for them?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I put it on a USB drive.
Okay. And is that something that's within your duties as a manager at Publix to actually pull surveillance out of the system as is and give it to law enforcement?
Yes.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 23. Mr. McClintock, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay, and is that the surveillance that you extracted from the Alton Public surveillance system and gave to law enforcement for the dates that they requested?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to view it to make sure that's what's really there?
Yes.
How do you recognize that that's what you viewed?
Because I signed it and put the date on it.
Okay, the date that you viewed it to make sure
Yeah.
it was what you thought it was?
Yes.
Okay, and is it a fair and accurate depiction of the surveillance that you gave to law enforcement?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit 23.
Approach, response? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So this surveillance that you viewed before, is this for the date of November 15th of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, for the evening hours?
It is sustained.
Okay. Did they give you a date range?
Yes.
Is that the date that they gave you to look at?
Yes.
What about timing? Did they give you times that they wanted to look at?
Yes, they did.
Do you recall the times that they gave you?
Not anymore, no.
Okay. What about like time of day? Do you remember if it was daytime, nighttime,
It was for the whole day, pretty much.
the whole day?
Yeah.
And did you extract all of that for them so that they could sift through and find what they needed?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, the state would move into evidence, State's Exhibit 23.
Response?
Same.
Subject to connection?
Yes.
Okay, so subject to connection, I'll defer ruling on it. Subject to connection.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Witness free to go?
Yes.
Sir, you're free to step down and leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next witness?
Yes, Judge. The state would call CSI Olsowski.
Yes, I do.
Ma'am, once you're comfortably seated, pull the mic close to you. Say your first and last name. Spell both names, please.
Kelsey Olsowski, KELSEYOLSOWSKI.
Do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. May I
Please proceed,
proceed?
Mr. Kelsey. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You've already introduced yourself to the members of the jury. What's your current profession right now?
I currently work at Palm Beach Gardens Police Department in digital evidence.
Okay. What, if any, roles did you hold with Palm Beach Gardens Police Department prior to today?
I was a crime scene investigator with the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department for about 8 years. Prior to that, I was a crime scene investigator in Essex County, New Jersey for 3 years, so about 11 years total.
Okay. So we're going to focus in on your CSI or crime scene experience. What kind of training or education did you need to receive to be able to initially even get into that field?
So I hold a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and psychology. I completed a 22-week course with the Department of State in New Jersey for a basic course for investigators, 600 hours plus of training, hands-on in different crime scene related courses.
Okay. And in terms of back on, let's say November of 2021, how long experience-wise did you have as a crime scene investigator?
It began in 2013, so about 8 years.
Okay. So let's focus on why you're here today. Do you remember how you got involved in the death of Ryan Reynolds in that investigation?
Yes.
Or Ryan Rogers, excuse me. How did you get involved?
On November 17th at about 2:30 in the afternoon, the major of the Investigations Bureau contacted me for a recanvass of the crime scene to go back to look for more information, more any possible evidence.
Okay. And do you remember what time you went back to the crime scene on November 17th?
Around 2:30 in the afternoon was the first time I went back.
Okay. And what did you do when you went to the crime scene at that point in time?
That point was a recanvass, which means researching the area, all the wooded trails, different detectives with canine dogs, crime scene investigators, to look for any additional pieces of evidence that maybe could have been missed.
And so you weren't just by yourself at that point in time?
Correct.
Okay. Did you personally find anything else of additional value when you went out and did that?
No.
Okay. So what was the next part of your involvement kind of in this investigation from a crime scene perspective?
So that same day at night, I went back to the scene to do additional evidence processing that can only be done in the dark.
Okay. And when you say nighttime, do you know approximately what time you went back?
That was about 6:45 p.m.
Okay. And since it was in November, how dark would you say it was out at that point in time?
It was maybe when I got there still getting dark, but the duration I was there, like complete blackness.
Okay. And you said you had to do something that you could only really do at nighttime. What is it that you had to do?
So there is a chemical that's called Blue Star. It's a reagent that reacts with proteins in blood. The purpose of doing this chemical spray is to detect any latent blood, which means you cannot see it with the invisible eye. The potency of it, it can find blood that is diluted at a 1 to 100,000 ratio. So what this chemical does is when it reacts with the proteins in any type of blood, it will fluoresce a bluish color, which can then be documented, again, in the dark because it's a fluorescent.
And if you recall, when is the first time you either heard about or used this Blue Star?
Blue Star is a pretty standard chemical in crime scene investigation. It's commonly used to detect, again, any blood you cannot see or if blood was cleaned up. So almost every crime scene unit that responds to violent major crimes would have this available to them.
Okay. And what is it contained in, I guess, this type of chemical?
Blue Star is a tablet that you have to dissolve in distilled water for a couple minutes until the tablet fully dissolves, and then you have your solution.
And with regards to Blue Star, you mentioned that it will, light up, in essence, if it detects blood material. Is there anything else that would cause the Blue Star to light up in your experience?
Blue Star is known to have a false positive with certain household cleaners like bleach. However, the false positive does not react the exact same way as blood. So, for instance, the false positive would not be as blue. It's more of a whitish color, and the fluorescence would only be for a couple seconds, where true protein in blood will produce that strong blue fluorescence for 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay. So going back now to the location of the crime scene, how do you go about, I guess, using the Blue Star, and what do you do afterwards?
So one of the crime scene investigators that was back out with me was also on the scene on day one. So they were able to show me this is where the bike was, this is where the body was, and using that, we presumptively tested the area of Ryan Rogers in red stains for blood, which were positive in the presumptive test. So we started spraying the chemicals from that point and started working our way out to see how far, if in any, possible blood was detected around that scene.
And so while you are doing this, are you documenting what you're doing in any fashion?
Yes, this includes digital photography that is specialized to doing in the dark. So that includes a tripod and exposed shutter. So you have to hold the camera lens open manually to photograph in the dark. So you're taking a photograph where you're holding open the shutter for about a minute to get that blue light in with that dark background.
Okay. And would you recognize those photos if you saw them here today that you took while you were out there on November 17th?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I believe there isn't an objection to the
There
state.
is or is not?
It's not. An
Okay.
objection for the state admitting Exhibit 24A through V as in Victor.
Exhibit 24A through V as in Victor is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Permission to publish?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start with A. What are we looking at in A?
This is the grassy area where the bike and Ryan Rogers were found on the east side of Central Boulevard.
Okay. What about B as in boy?
Now, that is the bike path or sidewalk right next to that grassy area. So the road is on the left, and then the grassy area is on the right.
Now, we notice in this photograph there's things that look pink and orange on the right-hand side of the photograph. Can you tell the jury if you know what those are?
Those were flags that were put out to help us. Again, with the Blue Star, it only holds a fluorescence for about a minute. So once it goes out, you lose it. So we wanted to make sure we're not going over the same area again, that we know what areas are still to cover. So the flags were placed by crime scene investigators to help us with that.
So in terms of this photograph, the Blue Star had already been applied to those certain areas we're looking at on the right-hand side.
Correct.
Okay. How about photograph C? Are you able to tell what's in this photograph?
Yes, that photograph is also where flags were placed, where Blue Star fluorescence was observed. What you're seeing in that photograph is the image that was captured with plain white light, so that when the photograph was taken in the dark, you would have like a reference point of what you were looking at.
And then in terms of D as in dog, is this also a picture of that area where you're indicating it lit up blue?
Yes.
So looking at E, what are we looking at in E here?
Another picture with in the dark with the exposed shutter with the blue fluorescence in that bottom left corner.
Okay. How about F?
This is more again of that overall looking into that wooded grassy area where the bike was with a bunch of flags that showed the fluorescence.
And can you tell us what this picture is in comparison? So can you tell us what G is in comparison to F?
That would be the photograph taken in the dark with the chemical sprayed with no additional light added for reference.
Okay. How about H? What are we seeing in this photograph here?
The blue luminescence of the Blue Star in the bottom center.
Similar with I, what are we seeing here?
Yes, the luminescence and some of the flags.
Okay. So this must have been, or how long after you spray the Blue Star in this area are you taking these photographs?
Once the Blue Star starts fluorescing, we're already set up with the tripod, so immediately that 1 minute exposure of the shutter being open. So that's about a whole minute of time documenting that photograph.
Looking at J, what are we looking at in this one here?
Looks like more flags in the dark.
And is this going along here, the sidewalk next to Central Boulevard?
It's hard to see from this angle.
Do you need to step down?
Sure.
Would that
Or
help?
I can approach it, but that's all right.
Whichever is best.
I'll approach
Okay.
it.
Just bring a mic with you.
So I'm showing the witness composite J. So what are we looking at in that photo?
The sidewalk, and to like the upper left portion, you can start to see the grass line. So yes, it is the sidewalk.
about image K? What are we looking at here?
That is the other side of the sidewalk that lines the road with the guardrail.
And when we look at the photograph previous, is this then going to the right to look out to the road?
Yes.
And again, in terms of these things on the actual pavement, what are those representing?
Those are the flags laying down on the pavement to help represent areas that were sprayed, that luminescence was observed.
Okay. Photo L, what are we looking at here?
That is the guardrail from the grass side.
Okay. And I'm actually, may I approach again, Judge, with State's Exhibit M?
The witness?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I'm showing you M. Do you recognize this one?
Yes.
What is this picture depicting?
The guardrail taken in the dark with the blue star reaction.
So in this photograph, is there a blue star reaction that you can see?
Yes.
In general, can you just point out where it is on that photograph? So in terms of State's Exhibit M, it's right in this area right here.
Yes.
Okay. Moving to N, what are we looking at here?
We are getting closer to the site of the bike.
Okay. And then using that as a reference, looking at O, what are we looking at here?
That is the camera in the same position, but in the dark with the blue star application, having a fluorescence onto the bushes, the shrubbery.
Photo P, now what are we looking at here?
Again, that same area in front of where Ryan Rogers was found.
Okay. And then using that as a reference to look at Q, what are we looking at right there?
The photograph in darkness with the fluorescence of the blue star.
Okay. We'll go to photograph R. Do you recognize this one?
Yes.
What is that depicting?
That is again getting closer into the site where Ryan Rogers was found.
Okay. And on that topic, looking at S, do you know what we're looking at right here?
That is the site where his body was recovered.
Okay. And then using that as comparison and looking at State's T, what are we looking at there?
That is the chemical reaction from the blue star luminescing.
And this in the middle right here, where would this be in terms of the crime scene?
On the ground.
Okay. And then last two I have is U. Can you tell what perspective this is being taken from?
That is from that same spot where Ryan Rogers was.
And do you know, at least from this photograph, are we looking deeper into the woods or are we looking back out at the road?
So if you were looking into the woods, this would be like upper to the right.
Okay. And then lastly, if we use this as a reference, States V, what is this picture?
This is a picture of the top of the shrubbery luminescing with the blue star reagent.
Okay. So in terms of November 17th, I think you said you got there around 6:47. Do you remember what time you eventually left the scene after all of this was done?
I don't.
Was it an hour or did it take longer than that?
It was several hours.
Okay. So now if you can tell the members of the jury, what was your next involvement in this investigation?
My next involvement was attending the autopsy on November 18th at the medical examiner's office.
Okay. And once the autopsy was completed, did you collect any type of evidence?
Yes, any items that the technicians at the autopsy collected of Ryan Rogers' property and things on his persons were turned over to me.
And did those things include the clothing that Ryan was wearing at the time he passed away?
Yes.
Okay. And so what did you do with Ryan's clothing?
The clothing was brought back to the crime lab at the police station where it was further examined close range.
Okay. And would you recognize those photographs if you saw them here today?
Yes.
Judge, I do not believe there is an objection to the state admitting into evidence State Exhibit 25A through X.
Any objection? 25A through X admitted without objection?
Permission to publish, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So let's take a look at A. What are we looking at here?
This is the sweatshirt turned over by the medical examiner.
Okay. And in this photograph, there are these two little white things. Can you tell the jury what that is?
Those are scales. So this is considered a reference shot to see the whole sweatshirt. The scales are placed so we can show very close up photographs and you know exactly where they came from.
Looking at B, what are we looking at here?
That is the hood of the sweatshirt.
Looking at C, what are we looking at here?
The lower sleeve of the sweatshirt.
Okay. And did you notice anything of particular importance on this sleeve here?
There were defects in the clothing where the material is ripped.
Okay. Do you remember how many defects there were?
With 2 scales, I believe there were 2 defects.
Okay. And when you say defects, I guess in everyday language, what does that mean?
There was something that happened to that material where it was ripped, torn, broken, missing.
Okay. And then looking at D, what is this?
That's a more close-up shot of that same spot on the sleeve with the defects.
And then is E just that same thing from an alternative angle?
Yes.
Okay. How about F?
The back of the sweatshirt.
Okay. G, what are we looking at now with the sweatshirt?
The sweatshirt is turned inside out.
Okay. And is it the inside out? Are we looking at the front of the sweatshirt or the back of the sweatshirt?
We're looking at the back of the sweatshirt.
Okay. Looking at H, what are we looking at here?
Those were more scales that were placed for close range photography of things that we found of potential value for evidence.
And when we're looking at these different ones, do you recall what the items of potential value were that you were notating here?
The scales were placed for different fibers or hairs or anything that was observed stuck to the sweatshirt.
Okay. And anything placed at those locations, were they collected by you, I guess, those items that you're notating?
Yes.
Okay. Taking a look at I, what are we looking at here?
This is also hard to see from this angle.
Do you need to step down, or can you bring it closer?
Of course, Judge.
Thank you.
Again, this is State Exhibit I. What are we looking at here?
The inside of the sweatshirt.
Okay. And is this a closer up version, I guess, of what we're looking on the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. Looking at J. Now what are we looking at in regards to the sweatshirt?
The interior front side of the sweatshirt.
Okay. Then looking at K. What are we looking at here?
The same interior front side of the sweatshirt with different scales applied.
Okay. And in terms of the 1, 2, 3 that are there, what were you documenting when we're looking at this part of the sweatshirt now?
Again, any fibers or hairs or defects for a perspective reference photo.
and then looking at L. Is this just a closer version of the photo we just saw?
Yes.
Now moving through M. What are we looking at here?
The Ryan Rogers shorts.
Okay. N. What are we looking at here?
The other side of the shorts.
All right. And then similar with the sweatshirt. What are we looking at in O?
The shorts turned inside out. This is the back side.
Okay. And then with regards to P.
The shorts turned inside out on the front side.
Looking S.
His sneakers.
Exhibit T. What are we looking at there?
The top side of the same sneakers.
Exhibit U. What are we looking at there?
Side view of the same sneakers.
And what's, I guess, the reason or the purpose that you're taking all of these different angles of the clothing that you're seeing?
The purpose of all the different angles is because one picture is not going to capture all the sides. So if there was any evidentiary value, you know, on the bottom of the shoes, the side of the shoes that you couldn't see from the top, it's just important to get all angles in case there is something there.
Looking at V.
That's the other side of the shoes turned the other way.
Okay. Exhibit W. What are we looking at there?
His socks,
Okay. And then lastly, Exhibit X. What are we looking at there?
the same socks flipped on the other side.
Okay. So once you document and photograph all of these in relation to Ryan's clothing, do you remember what your next involvement in this case was?
Going back to the scene with medical examiner staff,
Okay. And do you know what your role was when you went back then?
just to aid in any assistance, if help explaining what was done and collecting anything else that maybe was found of value for their investigation.
Okay. Now let's move to November 22nd, 2021. What, if anything, did you do in relation to the investigation into this case?
On that day, I did what could be called as a bicycle reenactment, to take a bike the same route over the overpass that we expected Ryan Rogers was traveling the night he died.
Okay. And what did that entail? How exactly did you go about doing this bicycle reenactment?
The purpose of it was because his cell phone.
Response?
May we approach, Judge?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. We have to have a discussion outside of your presence, and so we're going to take a break. It'll be as quick as we possibly can, and we'll come get you when we're ready to resume testimony. Enjoy your break. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. Enjoy your break. The jurors have left. Ms. Osowski, if I could ask your indulgence for you to step out. Don't go too far away. We'll come get you once we're ready for you as well. Thank you. Jurors have left. You may be seated. How much time does he need? 10 minutes? If he can get back in 10 minutes, that's fine. So that's deputy. Tell him to come back around 3:30. Okay. All right. Ms. Osowski's left. The jurors have left. There were several pronouns used, so I want to identify which her and which she you're referring to with regard to the evidence.
Yes, I can proffer what this, after Your Honor's ruling, what the questions would be. In essence, on that date, according to her report, she uses a bicycle.
Who's she?
CSI Olsowski.
Thank you.
CSI Olsowski.
If I could ask your indulgence, use names so
Yes.
I understand if you're using two females. I want to make sure I'm processing which female you're talking about.
Yes, so CSI Olsowski takes an iPhone 6S, kept it inside her pants pocket. She verified that the cell phone was tracking her steps on the health app before testing it on the bicycle. And then she began traveling a certain path near the location of the homicide. And while she was doing that, the health app recorded the change in altitude as, quote, flights climbed. The duration of the incline travel took about 30 seconds to complete and recorded an altitude of 2 flights climbed. For unknown reasons, the health app recorded 1 consecutive incline ride over the overpass in broken increments. The altitude change for the 2 flights climbed in an approximately 30-second time period was recorded at a start time of 11:25:05 a.m., end time 11:25:08, with 1 floor climbed, and start time 11:25:16, end time 11:25:18, with 1 floor climbed. A separate recording was logged as start time 12:05:10, end time 12:05:13, with 1 floor climbed, start time 12:05:32, end time 12:05:34, with 1 floor climbed. So, understanding the court's ruling, it would be her just saying, I went out on the 22nd, I put an iPhone 6 in my pocket, I turned on the health app, and this is what the health app recorded from this time to
She
this
can't
time.
say what we're not yet there until we address the that's
Right.
where you're here.
My objection is to her saying what the data from the health app is.
right.
And I think that's a foundational issue objection because we don't know how the health app works. We don't.
That's
that
type
type
of
of
we need to get. I don't have an issue with you, having the witness testify that she did all of these things.
Okay.
As I understand the defense's objection is the witness actually articulating the information gleaned from those activities, and that's what I'd like the parties to respond to. And as we discussed at sidebar, I was equating that information to the capturing of data, like when you use your key card at a hotel, it captures the information. So I want to explore that to determine whether or not it is in fact hearsay or non-hearsay.
And the state's position would be that since it is a health app that's operating independent of any human activity, that in order to be hearsay, it has to be a human that is making the statement. Similar to a key system where the computer's running and when something happens, it responds and documents it. That's what the health app is doing, is that a person is doing something and the computer is recording it. So it's not an out-of-court statement made by a human. It is like the key card system where it is recording information that's occurring and then spitting it back, I guess.
Help me understand from the defense's perspective why it would not be hearsay, because it is not a human declarant making a statement.
Well, I'm not sure if the rule technically requires it be a human declarant.
Well, I'm using the
but
term.
I know, but I understand what the court is saying. I guess I still do think it's an it's out of court. Well, I would have a second objection. So maybe perhaps hearsay was not the correct objection. We don't know. I mean, I understand Mr. Clousey saying this is how the health app works, but there's no evidence of that. There's no testimony of that. There's no certification of that. This witness, I don't believe, is qualified to testify how the health app works. We don't know if it's accurate. So essentially and we don't know if that's really how it works. I don't know how it works. I'm not, we would need testimony, I believe, that, or some sort of certification or something for the foundational requirement for that data to say that is actually how it works. And that's my objection, I guess. So perhaps hearsay was not the correct objection. If the court is finding that it is not a declarant, but essentially she's reading some information from her phone and we don't know how that information works. Is it reliable? There's all sorts of those questions. And so until the state can lay that foundation, we would be objecting to the entrance of that information.
I'm looking at Earhart and specifically digital and electronic evidence, which I am equating this to. The first sort of element to get past any actual articulation of the information is authentication. So I'm going to actually ask you to sort of walk through those steps, authenticating, and we'll go from there.
In terms of authenticating,
You're seeking to introduce the actual information?
no, yes, by virtue of her testimony, though, that she's going to say that when she did all of this, her eyes saw the app and the app said this information. So in terms of authenticating that, so we're not actually admitting a piece of evidence. She is detailing her observation of what the app said to her when she was conducting this reenactment. So in terms of, I don't believe, I guess, since we're not actually admitting the digital evidence, but even if we assume we were, she is authenticating the fact that's the purpose of setting the foundation, that she's going to talk about how she turned on this health app, what type of phone she used when she did it, and then what it started to say when she did so. So in terms of authentication,
You are seeking to elicit to the jury that it memorialized that she climbed 2 steps and things like that, right?
That's correct.
So you are seeking to introduce the substance of the app.
yes.
I'm going to take a minute and kind of digest this particular section and so that I'm clear.
Can I ask the court just what section you're looking at? Just so
901.
Thank you.
901.1. I'll be right back. The court, sorry, the court conducted some research on this. Court's relying, I had to go all the way to Connecticut to find a case. It's Connecticut versus Debate, found at 351 Connecticut, 428. It's a 2025 case. And as I indicated, my concerns, it has to be authenticated. And it appears as though the authentication needs to come from someone from Fitbit unless the witness herself can authenticate the reliability of the. Oh, nobody told me that. I told her to wait outside. I told her to wait outside. So who invited her back into the courtroom? I said what I needed to say. Response?
Judge, if that's the ruling with your case law, we're good to go.
Okay. The objection is sustained on pending authentication. Let's bring in the jury. Yes, you can bring in the witness. And I believe if you want to look at the case, I think it's page 473 through 478. It's a 40-page opinion if you're interested.
Said 473 to.
The page of the where we discuss it's 473 to 478.
Thank you, Judge.
Ma'am, you're still under oath. Once you're comfortably seated, we'll bring the jury in. Nine-ish. I have 7 cases if everything, I start at 8, so if everything goes well. Please be seated. You may inquire.
Yes. CSI Olsalski, we were talking about a bike reenactment. So I'm going to be more specific with my question when it comes to November 22nd. When you went out to do that, was the purpose to see if there was an elevation change in that area from your perspective?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you conduct, without saying what you did you conduct whatever investigation you did in relation to that elevation change if it existed?
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to November 23rd of 2021, did you have more involvement in the investigation?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what you did the following day on November 23rd?
I went back to the homicide site to look at a camera that was on the property facing the wooded area of Central.
Okay. And in terms of your goal that day, was it to measure a distance between 2 places?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what those 2 places were that you did a distance measurement for?
There was a sewer drain that had certain markings. Whenever you're starting a measurement, you have to have a concrete fixed point. You can't just pick this piece of sidewalk looks good. So the justification for using this sewer drain on the sidewalk was the starting point of where a video field of view captured that was south of the homicide scene. So following the sewer drain north along Central to the site where Ryan Rogers' body was found, that distance was collected with a measuring wheel.
Okay. And were you able to determine what that distance was?
It was just under 1,000 feet, I believe 994 feet.
Okay. And were you able to kind of equate that to how long it would take to walk that distance?
Yes.
Approximately how long would it take someone to walk that distance?
Rephrase.
How long did it take you to walk the distance?
4 minutes.
Now, if we jump forward to November 28th, did you continue your involvement in this investigation?
Yes.
And what happened on November 28th that involved you?
There was additional evidence brought to the police station that was photographed and documented by CSI Cohen. I did supplemental photography with another specialized light source camera, which is infrared photography.
Okay. And do you remember what those items were that you assisted CSI Cohen in taking IR photographs of?
They were items recovered from the green backpack that was taken from the Semmie Williams.
Okay. And in terms of this part of your involvement, what was CSI Cohen doing at the time?
So she was taking photographs with scales, close range, and plain white light of what the naked eye would see. The photographs I was taking was overlapping her photographs, but with the specialized photography that can pick up absorbed red stains consistent with blood in darker fabrics.
Okay. And when CSI Cohen is taking kind of, I'm just going to call them normal photographs of those items, are you waiting until she's done, or are you both doing it at the same time?
She would take the photograph first, step aside. I would come in, take the photograph second, and then we would move on to the next piece of evidence.
Okay. And in terms of the infrared or IR photos that you took, did you notice anything of evidentiary value in relation to the IR photos that you weren't able to see in the regular photos?
No.
Okay. And then let's talk about, if we move to December 1st of 2021, did you do anything else involved in this investigation?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do on that day?
There were several items collected from additional, evidence processing and collection of things that might be of value. I believe they were garbage bags with miscellaneous trash that, again, we went through with different presumptive testings and specialized photography with light sources to see if there was any information from those items that would be helpful to this case.
Okay. So was your role on the first to once again start taking the IR photographs of anything that was being looked at?
Yes.
Okay. And again, similar to what happened on November 28th, did you notice anything in your IR photographs that you could not see in normal photographs?
No.
Okay. And then following December 1st, 2021, did you have any further involvement in the investigation of this murder?
No.
Okay. Just one moment, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Defense may have some questions for you, okay?
Cross?
Good afternoon. All right, so your involvement on November 17th of 2021, which was a Wednesday, you went to the scene of the incident twice.
Yes.
Once at 2:30
Yes.
and then another at about 6:47.
Yes.
Okay. And when we are looking at some of these photographs that I'll go through in States 24, first 24A. I know there's a glare in this courtroom, but what we're seeing is artificial lighting, right?
It's light produced by flashlight, yes.
Okay. So if we're looking towards the top of this photograph, kind of over in this more so wooded area, you were there to see actually how dark it actually is.
Yes.
Okay. And then in 24B, States 24B as well. So kind of standing on the sidewalk and down into the wooded area, which would be to the right of this photograph, there's still that kind of flashlight that you're using to artificially light up this dark area.
Yes.
And then in 24D, again, there's kind of like a glare over top, but towards the kind of left and right side of the photograph, it's really dark as well.
Yes.
Okay, and by the time you arrived there about 6:47, the sun had already kind of started setting.
Yes.
The sun, I think, was probably completely down by that point.
Yes.
And then in this last photograph, 24, and like Nancy, this is actually looking down into that wooded area.
Yes.
Okay, where there's kind of like a slope that kind of goes down, like a hill, right?
Yes.
If I could have one moment, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Is the witness free to go?
From the state, yes, Judge.
Ma'am, you're free to step down and leave. Next witness.
The state calls Detective Paul Indovina.
Once you're comfortably seated, pull the mic close to you. It moves from the base. Say your first and last name and spell both names, please.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Detective Paul Indovina. I work with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Last name Indovina.
And your first name is Paul?
Correct.
Thanks. You may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hello, Counselor. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you.
So you've already introduced yourself. Where do you work?
I work for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
And what do you do for the sheriff's office?
I work as a digital forensic examiner. I'm a detective, though.
Okay, so let's start with the detective part. What did you have to do to become a detective?
It's just the next stage of after working on the road. So you apply and then you become a detective.
So you're a member of law enforcement?
I am. I'm certified law enforcement.
And how long have you been a detective?
16 years.
Okay, and the next part, digital forensics.
Right. I started that in 2009.
Okay, and what does that mean? Not that you started it in 2009, but what does it mean? What does that job mean?
Right. So digital forensics is the process of collecting, preserving, and analyzing digital evidence collected in criminal investigations. And the digital evidence can really be anything, but mainly we see cell phones, computers, hard drives, USB drives, that sort of stuff.
Okay, and you talked about collecting. What does it mean to extract data from a digital item?
So out of those 4 categories, I would put the extraction category under preservation. And all it really means is, simply put, is that we're making a copy of something, a phone, a computer. In this particular case, a phone.
Okay. Were you given a phone from the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department and asked to do an extraction?
I was.
And was it a black iPhone?
I don't know the color. It was an iPhone 8. I do have the serial number and who it belonged to.
Okay. It was an iPhone 8 belonging to Ryan Rogers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you do an extraction?
I did do an extraction.
How does it work? I know you said you're basically making a copy, but can you walk us through that process of how you actually make that copy?
I can.
Okay. How did you do that?
So in this particular case, we used a software or hardware application called GrayKey. It's produced by a company called Magnet. And essentially, it's just a hardware module. And that sounds fancy, but it's just an independent device that contains a specialized software on it that's designed for extracting information. So that's its primary purpose. You connect the phone, it uses this firmware on this module and extracts it and then gives you a copy, the best copy that we can get of that particular device. It's not human readable. It's just a copy, a file system copy.
And are you able to change any of that data the way it's given to you?
So that data is cryptographically verifiable as being the extraction that we intended to get.
Okay.
So no, so we don't change that. No.
And what's the reason for using the program GrayKey versus maybe another extraction program?
So there's certain programs based on the request or the nature of the request, because a request can come in from anywhere. This was an assist to help get an extraction from a device. Our job as a digital forensic examiner is to use the least invasive means to get the best possible result, if that makes any sense. We want to do the most minimal amount to satisfy that request.
Okay, and were you able to do that?
I was.
Okay, and were you responsible for actually analyzing the extraction and looking at the data, or just getting the data and giving it to the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department?
The latter part, getting the data, providing it, satisfying that request. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Judge, at this time, I believe without objection, the state's asking that Court Exhibit 1 be part of the record. Ryan Rogers' cell phone extraction.
Exhibit 1 admitted without objection.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Cross? No cross. Witness free to go?
Yes.
Defense? He's free to go. Sir, thank you. You're free to step down.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Yes. ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the evidentiary portion for today. We're going to recess early today. Tomorrow, I'm told that there's not as many witnesses and as much need for a longer day. As you may know, I have a docket in the morning, so instead of having you come at 9 and trying to crunch things in, I'm going to have you come at 10 to have potentially a more breathable day. And I believe we'll still end tomorrow at a reasonable hour because it is Friday and I would like you to have a decent weekend. So I wish you a good evening. Deputy Francis has probably already told you where to meet tomorrow, and I'll see you at 10. Enjoy your evening. No texting, tweeting, blogging, emailing, sending, or accepting messages, communications of any kind about this case or your jury service. I'll see you tomorrow. Jurors have left. Jurors have left. Please be seated. Anything to address before we recess? I know there was some pretrial motions or something. Do we need anything, any time for court intervention? Okay. Okay, so tomorrow at 10?
Yes.
All right, have a good night, everyone. Well, the order says what it says. Ms. Mickley was asking about the court order concerning the media procedures, and the order says the clerk needs to be here at 8. In light of we're starting at 10, it would seem okay to potentially have the media review at 9, just for tomorrow, just to give everybody a little bit of a break. If there's any issues, then please let me know. But I'm going to direct the clerk to be available at 9 o'clock. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you.
wherever Pam is. Pam, hi Pam. She's doing great. She's a special person. And Secretaries Doug Burgum, Sean Duffy, and Chris Wright, who I hear has a birthday today. Is your birthday? What are you, about 32? You look so young. And you're doing great. You know, Doug Burgum said, he's the greatest oil man in the world. I wanted Doug for the job. He said, no, there's one man better. He would only say one man. That's not, you know, because he's a very unusual guy. But he said, Chris Wright, and we are now drilling more oil than any time, any country ever in history, right? And oil prices in many states are down to $1.99 a gallon. That's like a major tax cut, right, Catherine? That's like a major tax cut. So what we did is we gave Doug which he probably liked better because he likes real estate. He's the biggest real estate person in history. He has the Department of the Interior. So he drills and he owns the land. And the combination's been lethal, right? And they've been great, and I appreciate it too. We're also here with FBI Director Kash Patel, who's a person that loves sports, right? Kash, you love the sports, and we love you. And Representatives Randy Fine. Randy, you did a great job the other day. You did a great job the other day. You know what I'm talking about. You got up there. Let them have it. Jimmy Petronas. Jimmy, thank you, Jimmy. Good job. John Rutherford. John, thank you. Thank you, John. And Michael Haradopoulos. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. So after a shortened off-season and a regular season plagued by injuries, the Florida Panthers entered the 2025 playoffs with extraordinary pressure to defend the title, but they also had an amazing aura about them. It was called the aura of winning. There's something nice about it. And that's what they did. But not only did you live up to the sky-high expectations, you gave us perhaps the most dominant playoff run in NHL history. The Panthers scored 94 goals in the playoffs, more than any team in a generation. You won a record 10 times on the road. It was, nobody's ever done that one before. You led the finals for over 255 minutes, the most of any team in NHL history. And you denied Canada the Stanley Cup for the 32nd straight year by... I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Matthew? We have a little competition with Canada. No, they're great people, though. They're great people. We're doing much better than Canada, but that's okay, right? We want them to do well, and they're going to do well. But 32nd straight year by defeating the Edmonton Oilers for the second year in a row, and they have a couple of really great players in that team, and they have a superstar, still a superstar, right? How's he feeling about his game? You can't lose, you got to win, right? You can explain it, huh? But boy, I'll tell you, that was some game. On offense, no one was better than the man the Edmonton Journal named public enemy #1 star forward, Sam Bennett. Where's Sam Bennett? He's got a very powerful hand. He's a strong guy. Sam scored 15 playoff goals and earned the coveted Conn Smythe Trophy, making him the first skater in Panthers history to be named tournament MVP. That's fantastic on Sam. And perhaps the greatest single game performance goes to Sam Reinhart. Where's Sam? Who became the first player in 103 years to score 4 goals at a Stanley Cup clinching win, and that's 4 goals. So they say hat trick, but what do they call 4 goals? They don't do it because nobody ever does it, right? How many people? I've never heard of 4 goals in one game. I hear of a hat trick, but so did they have a nickname for that one? I don't know. Just you know what it's called? 4 goals. That's what you don't need a nickname. On the defensive side, legendary goalie, he's great, Sergei Bobrovsky, also known as Bob. Well, that's a nice that's a good concept. That was a good idea. notched 3 shutouts in each of the first 3 series, including a key game, number 4. Shutout against Toronto in the second round. Played phenomenal hockey. Longtime Panther blue liner Aaron Ekblad led his fellow defenseman with a career-high 13-point scores, 19 playoff games, and that's close to another record. And team captain Alexander Barkov, known as Barky, was named the best defensive forward in the league for the 3rd time in the 2nd straight year. Much credit. Where's Barky? Where are those 2 guys? Good-looking people, young, beautiful people. I hate them. You hate standing here with all this power behind you. But I got power, too. It's called the United States military. I don't care. At 37 years old, Brad Marchand recorded 10 assists and 10 goals in the playoffs, including the clutch double overtime winner in Game 2 of the finals. And no skater had more ice time in the playoffs than Seth Jones, who was the workhorse on both sides of the puck. As we know, Seth will be representing America in the Milan Winter Olympics next month, alongside fellow Florida Panther Matthew Tkachuk, who's fantastic. I remember his father was very good. I don't know. I said, did you top his father? He said, well, my father had 500 and some odd goals. How many did you say? How many? A lot of goals. I said, well, he says he ain't, but you will be. And your father would want you to be, because I know your father. He would want you to be. It's fantastic. You don't see that too often. We have a father who's great and a son who's great. You don't see it very often, but this is a case where you do. And say hello to your father for me, Matthew, okay? But he throws a big punch. I can see that. Is he a pretty tough cookie? Is he tough? They say he throws the big punch. How many people can take him in a fight? There are only a couple of heads. He says most of them. I don't know about that. Also joining them on Team USA staff will be Bill Zito and Panthers equipment manager Teddy Richards. That's great. That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations. And we're counting on you to bring home the gold. You know, I got the Olympics, and we got it brought to a very special place. We have the big Olympics coming up very soon, and we have the World Cup coming, and we have the 250th year coming. So, you know, when I got rigged, when you had a rigged election, I was really angry about it. Then I realized if I win the next time, I pick up the Olympics, the World Cup, and the 250. And I said, you know what, Pam? I said, this is a good thing. It's better than it would have been, actually. So it's pretty good. Amazing the way things can work out, right? But I just wanted to say a very special congratulations. And I'm going to bring them down to the Oval Office. We did last time. And sometimes if I really like a team, I bring them to the Oval Office, and we do some fun. We give them a little special, we give them a coin, a very special coin, the best coin there is. And we have a little fun, but we're gonna march on down. We're gonna pass the Presidential Wall of Fame. So I had a choice, Walk of Fame or Wall of Fame. And you know what I decided, right? I said walk, because I think of the Walk of Shame. And I said, this was an interesting situation. So I said, that was the one reason I didn't want to do that, because I said people are going to think about that, but I said I'll do it anyway. But we have the Presidential Walk of Fame, and you'll get to see it. It's been quite an attraction for the White House. But I just want to congratulate everybody. These are special people, very, very hard to win, especially at the top level of sports, and this is the top level, and it's an honor to have these guys with us. You know, it's I want my people to win. We have such incredible people, so many here, congressmen, senators, and cabinet members, and they've really produced. They're producing, like, we're having a year, the likes of which really so far there's no comparison to any other first year for an administration. We have the tremendous crime numbers just came out. Did you see? The lowest crime ever recorded. Now, you wouldn't see that when you see what's going on, but when you see what's going on in Minnesota, we're taking out some of the worst criminals in the world are being taken out of our country. Murderers, drug dealers, some of the worst in the world. We have the lowest crime with best crime numbers we've ever had. And we have something else that's very special. We have 18 trillion. This is Vinny. Vinny had understand this better than maybe anybody in the room. $18 trillion worth of investment in the United States, which is bigger than any number. Bigger than any number. And we have, again, we have today for the 49th time in 11 months, here a little more than 11 months, for the 48th day, we have the highest stock market in history. So that's pretty good. That makes you feel good because I know you have a couple of stocks. It makes everybody feel good because 401ks are the highest point they've ever been. Everybody's happy, and we're doing a job, and they're doing a job. So I'd like to ask Vinny to say a few words, and then Matthew to say a few words, and then we'll figure it out. I heard they have a little surprise. Ooh, that looks nice. I hope it's the stick and not just the shirt. That stick looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Maybe I get both. Who the hell knows? I'm president. I'll just take them. But then we do have that little surprise, and I want to thank you all very much for being here. Very special. Vinny, please, go ahead.
Mr. President, it really humbles me to be in your presence, and the kindness you've showed me, my organization, from a very long time ago, it's not lost on us. But the privilege to be at the White House with you while you're present is extra special. I'm going to make it pretty clear that we are honored to be here, and we're honored to be here with you as the president. You talked about the Olympians. I think we're right up there having the most Olympic players as much as any other team in the NHL. There are 10 Olympians behind me from, I think, 4 or 5 countries. It's a great testimony to a wonderful sport that really is a global sport. I speak on behalf of every Florida Panther fan all over the world. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. Thank you, Mr. President. Matthew would like to say a few words, and the players are super excited about the gifts that they've selected for you. I think I'm more excited, actually. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
Well, I mean, the 2 cups was pretty good, but that walk with you might have trumped it all there. That was pretty amazing. No, I just want to say on behalf of the whole organization and mainly the players, we are so honored to be here, being an American. I know I said it last year, but I mean, nothing beats this. I'm so proud to be an American and so proud to be here with you and everybody else. So, but like I said last year, winning, it takes a toll. You pay a price for it, and each one of these members behind me, like, it really does take a village to make it happen, and each person played a very, very important part in it. And coming down to Florida, thanks to Vinny Viola and Bill Zito, has really changed my life, and I cannot believe that 3 years later we have 2 Stanley Cups, and like Vinny said, we are not stopping now, and we hope to be here next year. So that's the plan, and you know, representing you and the millions back here next month in the Olympics will be one of the highlights of my life as well, so thank you. We do have a few gifts to give you, so I'd like to call down Captain Sasha Barkov and then Seth Jones. And I think you're going to like the one that Seth gets here the most.
Good for slashing.